Alright, once again, I want to give our glory and our praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Akakadash. Double honors to the apostles of great news too, and do well. Citation go down to the Akim, and four corners of the eight preaching and teaching is word in sincerity and the truth, and hope for the elect. Alright, this brother Rad once again from German in that camp. Alright, for the edification of the elect, sake and the power of the Ba'ashem Yahushai. Right? Right, you see that, hey, we break at these banks, you know. This is just another stepping stone for the collapse, the economic collapse. Alright? There's another stepping stone so they can push, you know, the RFID microchip. Alright? You know, these devils, you know, these bangool bankers, you know, is about to make another large step, right? And this is just the beginning of the domino effect. Right, I'll go into the video and then I'm gonna bring some few precepts, you know, and make this video not too long, right? Just to show that, hey, this is another big stepping stone. Alright? Getting closer to that day, that famine of that bread. Alright? I'm gonna run the video and then get into the precept. Alright?
From yesterday, Deutsche Bank, which is a German multinational bank and the world's 15th largest bank by total assets, has been on the process of a massive overhaul of its business. The bank has cut off 18,000 jobs globally in this process as part of an $8.3 billion overhaul announced one day earlier. The bank's workforce is set to be reduced by 18,000 to around 74,000 employees.
74,000 employees by 2022. Right? A lot of people out there will have no jobs. Alright? And look where it's starting from. Right, the world banks, right, largest bank too, right. These elites know what they are doing, but do people, you know, fail to realize what is going on? You feel they're here for our next 500 years, our next 30 years, 50 years, who knows? But hey, we ain't seen that going to be, right? So these devils are looking to speed up their game, right? They're looking to bring in the new monetary system, the new beast system, right? They're looking to make that RFID microchip mandatory throughout the whole world. And this is a big stepping stone, right? This is another stepping stone because, hey, this was going on a long time, right? They were ushering the bitcoins, the crypto dollar bills, you know, to digitalize the currency. Alright? But you people need to wake up and see what is happening. Alright? That famine and that bread is coming. People will be left with no jobs. People will be starving to death. Alright? But the big main fact behind this is the RFID microchip. Right? The new monetary system, that digital system. Right?
By 2022, as Deutsche Bank scraps its global equities and trading operations. This has become another big hit to the shrinking European finance industry. And for the Deutsche workers, they now find themselves chasing for jobs in a market where there's an even more limited number of positions. Toward the day's end, the majority of the murmurs in the press about Deutsche Bank CEO Christian Sieving's broad restructuring barely did it justice. Rather than moving gracefully in the layoff process, the bank began grouping many employees into gatherings with HR, first in its workplaces in Asia, Hong Kong, Sydney. At that point, London, which got hit especially hard, then New York City. By certain accounts, It was the biggest mass broker terminating since the breakdown of Lehman, which left almost 30,000 workers in New York City jobless. Even though the American economy is doing similarly well compared to the European economy, over the world, laid-off Deutsche Bank employees may battle to look for some employment again in their equivalent field. According to what Bloomberg reported, automation and cuts have left most investment banks much more slender than they were before the 2008 economic crisis. The contracting flexible investments industry, which once poached employees from DB's equities business, isn't much of assistance. A few workers will unavoidably discover their approach to Evercore, Blackstone, boutique venture banks, and private equities investments or trading firms are two of the business's top development zones, or family workplaces, which on account of the endless rally in resource costs and the arrival of Bitcoin, which is also booming. Some proof has surfaced to propose that numerous youthful investors are as of now hoping to leap. For the highest paid employees being let go this week, many will need to get used to lower pay. Some 1,100 material risk takers have been let go. On average, they earned $1.25 million, almost 60% of that in cash. A lot of these people are going to have to get used to less compensation, said Richard Lipstein, managing director at recruiting firm Gilbert Tweed International, in a telephone interview. And, quote, the percentage of compensation in cash is lower than it used to be, unquote. Many will need to leave the street and possibly whatever city in which they're currently living to find work elsewhere. Michael Nelson, a senior recruiter at Quest Group, said a lot of the people coming out of DB are going to be very challenged to find jobs just because of the sheer change in the equity business. He continued, when you're dispersing that many people globally, some of those people might have to leave the business. But at least Goldman Sachs is willing to hire some of the Deutsche Bank employees, while BBG's piece on the layoffs focused on the trouble these employees may face in the process of looking for new jobs. Reuters portrayed the scene outside these workplaces where one insider had cautioned about Lehman-style scenes. Indeed, some just-fired employees could be seen pondering outside, taking photographs with colleagues and boarding taxis, probably to go to a closest bar to grab a drink. Fired staff leaving the Hong Kong Deutsche Bank offices were seen holding envelopes with the bank's logo. 3 workers snapped a photo alongside a Deutsche Bank sign outside, embraced, after that hailed a taxi. One equity trader told us, they give you this packet and you're out the building. The equities market is not that great, so I may not find a similar job, but I have to deal with it, said another. After a few weeks of looming fear, employees were called into assembly rooms, cafeterias, workplaces, given an envelope with details of their redundancy package before they were sent out.
Right? And that was going to happen. Right? That was going to happen. Right? But must start from these international banks. Right? To cause that domino effect, that chain effect. Right? That Deutsche Bank. Right? You know, as we see right now, the laying of workers, right? Things are slow, right? Very slow, right? That what they're waiting on, that what they want. So, if you really look at it, you know, look at it at a spiritual aspect, you understand? Because it's just what the Bible is saying, it's just what they want to do, right? It's just what they want to do. Right, to bring in that new monetary system. Right, and it seems like if you know things will get better, but it won't get better. Understand? It only will get worse. But this is the times we're living in. Right? This is where they're going to usher in this new monetary system, this B system, to make the RFID microchip, right, mandatory throughout the world. Alright? I'm gonna go see if I can find that part down to the end. We're talking about Alright, I'll play this small clip here.
Rogers offered a reminder that some stable banks went bust when nobody expected it, as was the case for Lehman Brothers in 2008, or with another old bank in UK, British Northern Rock. And it's happening again. If you go to Scandinavia, you see some of those banks that have been around for years, they're in trouble now. This is nothing more than a sign of the times. We're going to have a lot of problems down the road.
Right.
Investors said.
That's right.
As Danielle Brute-Basher of UBS explained, the chances of success appear to be low. Cutting expenses by 1/4 and increasing revenue by 10% over 4 years in the present market condition, while experiencing massive restructuring, could be viewed as trying. Traditionally, when stable banks like Deutsche Bank find themselves in this kind of trouble, it's always a signal that the world financial system is about to face a very serious problem down the road. Legendary investor Jim Rogers told RT. However, according to Rogers, Deutsche Bank is unlikely to collapse due to multiple warnings and enormous government efforts to support it. Rogers went on to explain that collapses occur unexpectedly, and it's when the global markets can crash. If Deutsche Bank were to collapse, it would be a surprise. It would cause the global market to start to decline, he said, adding that it would create a snowball that would see other major banks to follow the same path.
Alright, so that's exactly what's going to happen. So they put the things in place for this to happen. Alright, so to cause this domino effect, show the whole world. Alright, so they can bring in a new monetary system, that beast system. Alright, and all that leading to the mark of the beast, the RFID microchip, the chip, each and every one. Alright, this is Revelation chapter 13 and verse 16. It says, and he caused it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand and in their foreheads. I'm going to look up that word mark, means charagma. Alright, means to stamp, to imprint, right, to cut or to insert. Right, as we see here in this photo here. Alright, this is the RFID microchip. Alright, select here. Alright, give me a second. Alright, this is the RFID microchip right here. Alright, you seeing this here? Small like a grain of rice. This is what they're going to implant in each and every human being. Alright, this is the mark of the beast. Look right here, where they put it, insert it into the skin. They cut it and put it into the skins. This is what Revelation 13 and 16 is talking about. Right? This is not an embargo. This is not spiritual. This is a physical mark. Right? And this is what these devils and them preparing for. Right? By shutting down all these banks, by causing people to be jobless. So when that time comes, when the authority in this new monetary system, they will grab it in order to survive. But hey, I tell you not to take the mark of the beast. Do not take this strip. Alright? You'll be put to death by the Lord Yahweh Shai. You'll be put to death for this. Alright, moving on. It says, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark. Understand? So if you don't have this chip in the right hand or in the forehead, you will not be able to buy or sell anything. Understand? And this is exactly, Salakia, this is exactly what this whole economic collapse is all about. Right? Save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. So he's a man, he's a so-called white man. Alright, this devil. Alright, it says here in verse 18, it says, here is wisdom, let him that had understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man. So when I ask people what is the mark of the beast, alright, it's the 666. But what is the mark? They don't know. Alright, it is this RFID microchip. Human RFID chips will not be. Hey, this is a lie. Alright, this is a lie. They're gonna chip each and every one with this chip. Alright, verse 18, it says that, verse 18 again, it says, here is wisdom, let him that had understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of the man, and his number is 606, right? 666. Alright, so this is what all this economic collapse and shutting down banks and all this thing, this is what this domino effect gonna cause for this RFID microchip to be mandatory throughout the whole world. Alright, done have the system here already. Why work it have that system, but it's to have it in a card form. Alright, you can't buy nothing to eat or drink if you don't have credit on your card. Alright, so when the time comes for you to bring in this new monetary system, hey, you're done in it already. So you might think, hey, it's technology, but really and truly, hey, that's the mark for your debt. Alright, so with that, I just want to give a glory and praises to Yahweh, Hashem Yahushai, Hashem Makakadash. Double honors to the apostles of great millstone of Bell. Citation going on to the Akim and the four corners of the air, preaching and teaching us word and sincerity and truth. Alright, and hopefully hope it was edifying. Right, till then, till next time, I say shalom to the elect. Alright.